201. Who painted the Tower of Babel? A. Peter Bruegel the Elder. 202. Who created the sculpture Moses? A. Michelangelo. 203. Who created Luncheon on the Grass? A. Edward Manet. 204. Who painted The Laughing Cavalier? A. Frans Hals. 205. Who created The Red Studio? A. Henri Matisse. 206. Who is known for Broadway Boogie Woogie? A. Pete Mondrian. 207. Who created Assumption of the Virgin? A. Titian. 208. Who created The Last Supper? A. Da Vinci. 209. Who painted Liberty Leading the People? A. Eugene Delacroix. 210. Who created the Water Lilies series? A. Claude Monet. 211. Who created Les Demoiselles d'Avignon? A. Picasso. 212. Who created The Virgin and Child with Saint Anne? A. Da Vinci. 213. Who painted Paris street scene? A. Pierre-Auguste Renoir. 214. Who painted Luncheon on the Grass? A. Edward Manet. 215. Who created Starry Night? A. Vincent van Gogh. 216. Who created The Scream? A. Edvard Munch. 217. Who painted Guernica? A. Pablo Picasso. 218. Who is famous for the Blue Period? A. Pablo Picasso. 219. Who painted The Blue Boy? A. Thomas Gainsborough. 220. Who created the mural The School of Athens? A. Raphael. 221. Who is known for the number series paintings? A. Jackson Pollock. 222. Who painted the 3rd of May 1808? A. Francisco Goya. 223. Who created the Raft of the Medusa? A. Theodore Géricault. 224. Who painted the Arnolfini wedding? A. Jan van Eyck. 225. Who created the burial of the Count of Orgaz? A. El Greco. 226. Who is famous for the painting The Ambassadors? A. Hans Holbein. 227. Who created the beheading of St. John the Baptist? A. Caravaggio. 228. Who created the drawing Vitruvian Man? A. Da Vinci. 229. Who painted Triumph of Death? A. Peter Bruegel the Elder. 230. Who is known for Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer? A. Gustav Klimt. 231. Who painted the Tower of Babel? A. Peter Bruegel the Elder. 232. Who created the sculpture Moses? A. Michelangelo. 233. Who created Luncheon on the Grass? A. Edward Manet. 234. Who painted The Laughing Cavalier? A. Frans Hals. 235. Who created the Red Studio? A. Henri Matisse. 236. Who is known for Broadway Boogie Woogie? A. Pete Mondrian. 237. Who created Assumption of the Virgin? A. Titian. 238. Who created The Last Supper? A. Da Vinci. 239. Who painted Liberty Leading the People? A. Eugene Delacroix. 240. Who created the Water Lilies series? A. Claude Monet. 241. Who created the large bathers? A. Paul Cézanne. 242. Who painted the Virgin and Child? A. Raphael. 243. Who painted Paris Street, Rainy Day? A. Gustav Keilbach. 244. Who painted Olympia? A. Edward Manet. 245. Who created Starry Night? A. Vincent van Gogh. 246. Who created The Scream? A. Edvard Munch. 247. Who painted Guernica? A. Pablo Picasso. 248. Who is famous for the Blue Period? A. Pablo Picasso. 249. Who painted The Blue Boy? A. Thomas Gainsborough. 250. Who created the mural The School of Athens? A. Raphael. 251. Who is known for the number series paintings? A. Jackson Pollock. 252. Who painted The 3rd of May 1808? A. Francisco Goya. 253. Who created The Raft of the Medusa? A. Theodore Géricault. 254. Who painted The Arnolfini Wedding? A. Jan van Eyck. 255. Who created The Burial of the Count of Orgaz? A. El Greco. 256. Who is famous for the painting The Ambassadors? A. Hans Holbein. 257. Who created The Beheading of St. John the Baptist? A. Caravaggio. 258. Who created the drawing Vitruvian Man? A. Da Vinci. 259. Who painted Triumph of Death? A. Peter Bruegel the Elder. 260. Who is known for Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer? A. Gustav Klimt. 261. Who painted the Tower of Babel? A. Peter Bruegel the Elder. 262. Who created the sculpture Moses? A. Michelangelo. 263. Who created Luncheon on the Grass? A. Edward Manet. 264. Who painted The Laughing Cavalier? A. Frans Hals. 265. Who created The Red Studio? A. Henri Matisse. 266. Who is known for Broadway Boogie Woogie? A. Pete Mondrian. 267. Who created Assumption of the Virgin? A. Titian. 268. Who created The Last Supper? A. Da Vinci. 269. Who painted Liberty Leading the People? A. Eugene Delacroix. 270. Who created the Water Lilies series? A. Claude Monet. 271. Who created the altarpiece of St. Mary's Church? C. Jan van Eyck. 272. Who painted Night Café? B. Vincent van Gogh. 273. Who is famous for Mona Lisa's smile? A. Da Vinci. 274. Who created Death in Vienna? A. Gustav Klimt. 275. Who painted Saint Anne with the Virgin and Child? B. Da Vinci. 276. Who created ukiyo-e? A. Katsushika Hokusai. 277. Who painted The Last Judgment mural? A. Michelangelo. 278. Who painted Saint Sebastian? B. Caravaggio. 279. Who created Paris street scene? B. Claude Monet. 280. Who is known for the Christ on the Cross series? A. Matthias Grunewald. 281. Who created the Blue Horse series? A. Franz Marc. 282. Who created Olympia? A. Edward Manet. 283. Who painted Self-Portrait? A. Vincent van Gogh. 284. Who painted Gypsies? A. Francisco Goya. 285. What is another name for Mona Lisa? A. La Gioconda. 286. Who created the Red Vineyard? B. Vincent van Gogh. 287. Who created Madonna and Child? A. Jan van Eyck. 288. Who painted Blue Nude? B. Yves Klein. 289. Who is known for the Symbol of Love series? A. Gustav Klimt. 290. Who created the School of Athens in the Vatican? A. Raphael. 291. Who painted Jack the Ripper? A. Francis Bacon. 292. Who painted Boats on the Vaz River? A. Claude Monet. 293. Who is known for the Scottish Scenery series? A. George Henry. 294. Who created the Bible Stories series? A. Marc Chagall. 295. Who created The Creation of the Earth? A. Michelangelo. 296. Who painted The Green Dance? A. Henri Matisse. 297. Who painted Mirage on the Alps? A. Caspar David Friedrich. 298. Who created Night Café? A. Vincent van Gogh. 299. Who is known for the Black Spots series? A. Jackson Pollock. 300. Where is the background of Mona Lisa? A. Florence.